when we talk about Ruben Amorim is how many times have we seen Manchester United managers since Sir Alex have to come out in the media and speak following a loss? I always think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking after one in particular, and they said, of all the Manchester United days you've been a part of, where does this one rank? And he actually almost started crying and said, this is the lowest. And it feels like we're getting to the bottom so many times, time and time again. But what can Ruben Amorim even say, Nigel, at this point? If you're walking into the changing room after tonight and you're hearing Grimsby celebrating above you, what even comes out of your mouth? I'm sure
Grimsby has a very small, intimate, old-school dressing room, very tight showers. I think Ruben Amorim needs to go in there and look into the mirror and wash his face and look himself in the mirror. Because what can you say? You're responsible for it. These are the players. You picked the team. You changed the team. You didn't get a performance. You may change at half-time. Still, things don't get better. This one's on him. What can he, like, that's your job, is to manage these players. This one is on you. I don't think he can. Say? So if you're him? He's very comfortable. What can he say? He has to be honest. Come out and actually be honest. We are not nowhere near meeting the standards of what it means to represent this football club. And it's my job to get these players to those standards. Right about now, I'm not doing my job good enough. These players need to do better. Come out and say that. Fine. Who can argue against that?
There's a bigger problem, though, right? Because I'm just looking at the list, and I wanted to make sure I had it. Was it David Moyes? Was it his problem? Was it Louis van Gaal? Was it Jose Mourinho? You talk about having a younger manager. Okay, Jose won a cup, right? Was it Ole's fault? Was it Carrick? Okay, Rangnick, Erik ten Hag? I mean, at some point, it's the 20-plus guys that you have just aren't the right guys. They've tried the big-name managers. Since Sir Alex Ferguson, they've had, as far as names, from top all the way to bottom, right?
Yeah.
They still, in the end, are coming to this in 2025.
Well, there's plenty of...
Durant, by the way. They've made history today. We have to stop for a second and really understand what happened here today. They lost to a 4th division side in England. They lost to Grimsby Town for the first time in their history, with the amount of money, over 200 million spent in the summer transfer window.
Just for the attacking three.
Just for the attacking three. And then there was Houdini performances everywhere. And then there was an actual Houdini event where Ruben Amorim hid in his own dugout while his team was taking penalties.
Would you be offended if you were a player, by the way, and you were looking around for your manager and you actually can't even see him because there was an assistant manager stood right in front of him as well, right? He was the one who was doing the whole penalty
thing. Yeah, the assistant manager was the one who was talking.
Would that rub you the wrong way?
I mean, I just look at it from the optics of leadership. I know about a good leader when I see one. I know someone who I can trust to be a leader, someone who I can go into war with. For me, it doesn't sit well, regardless of your superstition or not, and especially at the club that you're at. You're Manchester United. You need to be front and centre. This is what comes with the job. If you cannot handle it, you should have never signed up to be Manchester United, or sign up and then act surprised. Oh, this is a bigger job than I actually realised in the first place. You need to be up front and centre. You need to be there with your coaches so your players can see you, that you're with them. You sitting that does not sit well with me.
I think about just the cell in the dressing room right now. Right? Because you want proof of concept. You give guys ideas, you give them training methods, you do all this stuff, tactics, you write things on the board, you sit on the bench, I don't know how, and you're moving the tactical board around. We saw those images. But in the end, players, what do they want to know? That it's working. Right? There's nobody that can tell me right now that it's working. Now, what do you say in the dressing room tonight when Gardner and Vernon and McJanet and Warren and Pym, the goalkeeper, they just completely outplayed you? So how do you sell that to the dressing room? How do you sell that to players? Because you guys know, we've all been there, right? Oh, you've been there as well. At some point, when the manager loses that room, you're like, everything he says, you're like, in one ear, out the other ear.
100%.
Right? It's pure jokes, though. In the 60th minute or 70th minute, you're away at Grimsby, and you're the manager of Man United, and you're moving magnets around, tactical magnets around. If you think he didn't have it, all you need to do is see that clip to think. I mean, this guy. And we talk again. Just quickly back to personality and character. You got to have personality and character to manage this team, and to manage big-time players, and to lead big groups like this in big organizations in any field, but especially at Man United. He doesn't have it, period. He hasn't shown it from day one to today, and we're talking about a big history for all the wrong reasons.
Communication hasn't been great. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he's going to get sacked. It's not my... I've got no skin in that game. I don't care what happens to Manchester United manager or anything like that. I just know the standard of the club, the size of the club, when you play for that top 1% big teams, that this is what you're supposed to do. They're not meeting these standards. If they do choose to go away from him, I think, for me, the perfect replacement there, and I know some Crystal Palace fans might kill me, is Oliver Glasner. I think what the job of Oliver Glasner has done at Crystal Palace right now is telling of a manager's gone in there, got them to silence system.
But Nigel, I suppose the problem is, yes, Manchester United is one of the most prestigious clubs in world football, no doubt about it. But if you are an up-and-coming manager, are you looking at Manchester United thinking, yeah, this is a good place for me, I can turn things around?
I think for me, with what we've seen of Oliver Glasner in these two clubs, that he has that personality and character.
Why would he want to leave right now, Chris?
It's not great.
Why would he want to leave to go to this
is the problem is it's not great at Crystal Palace, and the thing with Man United is it always has that aura, that draw for players or managers. That's just the reality of it. Right about now, I would say there's starting to be more question about Amorim and things. I said to you, when I look at Onana and everything that's happened in the situation with him, I said, in my personal opinion, just from my football experience, that's a goalkeeper right now that's got no confidence whatsoever. He has no confidence, and again, with how he's been treated at the start of the season, with Bayern there starting ahead of him, and then you come into a cup game against Grimsby, you're the main star from last season. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's had a few stinkers, but when you look at the penalty misses and stuff, and they say, everything about him just says he's lost all confidence. And it was the same thing with Højlund last season. There's a moment where, as players, your manager's the one that's responsible for getting you to believe in yourself and have that confidence. What one Man United player could we say today had a good game today and was unlucky?
We're not going to do anything sneaky. And they beat them, and they look better than them. They look fitter than them. And they beat them in every department of the game. And then even to show the character at the end, because I want to talk a lot about the character of this Man United team and the manager in particular, and the character and the penalties to step up. Guys with way less technique. We're talking about Šeško. I know this bothered you, Poppy. $100 million player, $99 million to be exact. Doesn't want to shoot the penalty. He shoots the 10th penalty. And these guys step up. These players are maybe they're worth a couple $100,000 each. Maybe there's a few worth more. And the composure they had and the character they had in the penalty shootout.
They're going against international players. These are international players representing big nations you're talking about, and they don't want to step up in these big moments. This is what comes with representing Manchester United. If you can't handle it, don't sign for them. Go sign for another team. Like, I'm not going to be sitting there and defending Manchester United, because for me, if anyone wants to see any positive in that, you're deluded. You're not being true to yourself in what you've just seen there. There's standards. There's nothing wrong with having standards. Today, tremendously, the standards of what it used to be representing Manchester United were not met. Anyone else who wants to have any kind of different perspective about it, you're lying to yourself. They lost in battle in midfield to a Grimsby
It's not just the result.
And everywhere else, it's not just the result, it's the performance. There's not one positive thing I can say from a Man United performance that I can see what Ruben Amorim's trying to do here. I can see what they're trying to achieve as a team.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, because the storyline is Manchester United in so many ways, right? It's miserable right now. Their manager, from the start, the images we saw before the game, practicing restarts on the field, which I've never seen myself. Get past that. If you go and win the game and you play well and you do what you're supposed to do today, we don't talk about it anymore. To the lasting images at the end, when he's on the bench almost hiding, as his team is battling on the field, right, to try and get... I don't understand it. And we have to talk about Man United, but I want to talk about Grimsby so badly, because what a moment it is for them. I just can't get away from the Man United side of the story.
At the end of an extraordinary evening of cup football, Brian Mbeumo's miss means that Grimsby Town win 12-11 on penalties against Manchester United after it finished 2-2 after 90 minutes. United coming back from 2 down. So many penalty takers. We went all the way through the 11 and the goalkeepers and started all over again. Louis Sahar and Danny Collins with us. Danny, for Grimsby Town, what a fabulous night. What a match. What a 90 minutes and penalties.
Oh, unbelievable, wasn't it? You picked the right one. No, I think, going off first half alone for the effort, and they controlled a lot of the play in that first half and went in at the break, obviously 2 goals to the good. Yes, United come out second half, made a lot of changes and got on top. Grimsby got tired as the game wore on, so you could probably argue United deserved to take it to penalties, but fantastic. And what a save from Christy Pym there, down to his left-hand side from Bruno. Fantastic save, and fantastic for the club. Yeah, they deserved it, and the fans have got their moment on the pitch as well.
Yeah, there we are. I knew there'd be a sign saying this. United get battered. They would say that in the home of the fishing industry here in Lincolnshire. That certainly for Manchester United, they go home and they wonder, Louis, where they go from here, because it was all them in the second half. Although there was a controversial goal disallowed, which would have made it 3-0, which would have obviously have been game over then. What's your quick views on United?
Yeah, it's a shocker. I think that definitely that's Grimsby night, and you have to congratulate them. They made it very difficult in the first half, scoring those goals. Okay, by mistakes of like the players, but at the end it's like an invitation. All the time United invite those kind of performances against them, and this is not normal. And this is why I think they are in this situation. They really have to regroup. It's not about just concentration. There is like a lot of work to do. Amorim knows that he hasn't made mistakes, but tonight, let's just think about those fans.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Kieran Green, the Grimsby player, with Gabriel Clark.
Yeah, we've got Kieran, the captain, and we've got Terrell. What a night for Grimsby Town.
It's unbelievable. I think that it'll be one that'll live in the history of this club for a long time. I know a lot of the fans are really looking forward to it. We were looking forward to it, so it's one that'll stick around forever, I can imagine.
Tyrell, as a former Manchester United player, sum up your night.
Amazing, surreal really. Lost for words.
First ever Grimsby goal, what a time for it.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
For a long time coming. We're getting in the areas to score. I personally think I should score more goals, but yeah, a great time to score.
And what about that penalty shootout?
Yeah, it was dragging on. It was cold out there as well, I was shivering. I was last to take my pen. I just wanted to score and keep the tie going.
What kept the team going when it's pulled back to 2-1 and then obviously United get that late goal? You've gone through so many different types of emotions, I imagine, this evening.
Yeah, I think that obviously we went 2-0 up and everyone was like probably a bit surprised to be in that situation, but I know they've come back from 2-2 and it's 2-2, but let's have it right. We'd have took 2-2 going into the death, so 2-2, them getting the equaliser at the end, that's a win. Like, we're still the team that are like winning at that point. So we'd have took that going into the end of the game, and obviously going into the penalty shootout, the gaffer had said to us that, like, lads, all the pressure is on them, and it was really.
And if there's one quality you had tonight, maybe that Manchester United couldn't quite match, what was it?
Just resilience, really. Like, the season we've had to come from behind, hold leads. We know what to do when it's getting tough. So when it was 2-1, 2-2, we never gave up. We wanted to get something out of the game. Like, it come this far in the game. We didn't want to leave there with nothing.
Guys, a night that Grimsby Town fans will never, ever forget. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. Thank you.
Sum up that for Grimsby Town.
A long penalty shootout. I said to Sean halfway through the penalty shootout, first round last year we beat Bradford 9-8 on penalties. I said to him before the penalty shootout started, I said, look, what's a penalty shootout? It's a technical thing, it's a psychological thing. You've got brilliant techniques, we work hard every day to get better. It's a thing above the front door, it's an opportunity, another chance today to get better. And these group want to get better. The techniques are fine. They're going to feel nervous walking up, butterflies, all the rest of it. Don't worry about that.
What was the one quality above all, across the whole piece, that pleased you most, that got you through?
I think just this is an accumulation of 15 months, 18 months, all encompassed in one night. Look, they're an unbelievable team, Manchester United, unbelievable, and I'm sure there'll be lots of, heat and all that. They've got an unbelievable manager, and they're on the right track. You can see that, you can see it, right? But we've got an unbelievable group of players as well, who want to play for this football club, want to live in the area, want to get better every day, want to be coached. That's a big thing.
Well played, Grimsby Town. For Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, what happens now, Louis? A lot of United fans, especially at half-time, going, where are they going under this manager? You wouldn't anticipate that they were going to change the manager, would you, at this stage, just because they've lost tonight?
I think they have some consideration. They have to have a bit of rough attitude, because yes, they ask result, they ask a better performance. This ground is also difficult to come and perform, but at the end of the day, it's what they're here for. They have to do it, they have to find solution. At the moment, it's nice to have communication and all those things, but we need to see better aggression, speed of play. All this is missing, all the courage that you expect from Manchester United and the quality that comes then with it. It's not there. So there is like a pressure. It was a day where he had to perform. He didn't. As a man, as a manager, they have to regroup and find solution.
Danny, we need to finish with the story, of course. I make no bones about repeating what I said at the top of the programme. The strength of the English game is the pyramid system, and tonight underlines why it's so special, why it matters so much. And all these people still here, and mighty Mariners out there still as well. I mean, it's fabulous to see.
Yeah, fantastic night, as you say, for the football club and for the fans to come and witness it. And rightly so, people obviously knocked the cups, and certainly in the earlier rounds, but that's what it's all about. Moments of magic like we've had tonight. I say they've earned the draw in the first round against Shrewsbury, get back home here against a big team, Man United, coming into town, and they've delivered.
Yeah, and you would appreciate that, coming to this country, playing here, Louis, what it means, how it filters down to the lower league clubs.
No, that's brilliant. That's why I love this atmosphere. The family comes together, the smallest one in the family respect the older one, and this is tradition, and this is why I think the passion is really transferred on those moments. This is like quality, emotion transferred to everybody, and wherever you like the opposition, you respect, the history, and you take it. You say, oh, we managed to have a great result with that. It will last forever, and this is what is brilliant about this football.
Gents, thank you very much indeed. I think we're going to go to sleep and dream of penalties, aren't we? Thank you very much indeed.
And when they come out, having celebrated, we will bring some reaction to you from the Grimsby perspective. But whilst we wait for the Grimsby players to come out and talk to us, going out on penalties from a Manchester United point of view shouldn't mask the fact that there are questions to be asked after that performance.
No, I don't think it will be. We've had a really, really difficult night, tough night. I just think in games of football like this, when you play lower league opposition, if you don't do the basics well, you're going to come unstuck. And in a game like tonight, you can talk to me about tactics and systems and formations. Just you had to do the basics well.
But I can ask you about systems and formations, because even when the substitutions happened, even if they weren't like for like, so Mason Mount coming on or Xerxes coming on, they still kept the same formation and put round pegs in square holes, didn't they? I mean, Mount was left wing back at one stage.
Well, we was talking about it. So when he changed and put Mason Mount in that position, they still went with a back five, but they were building with a back five against Grimsby, who was sitting on the edge of the box. So your spare man was almost in build-up when you needed that spare man sort of further higher up the pitch to make an overload out wide or through the middle.
Well, how many times was that spare man De Ligt, for example, in that build-up? You know, he'd be the one joining in, and with the greatest respect to him, you should have an attacking player getting into the box, and a lot of the times it was a defender, an extra man. That it just seems crazy that he's so wedded to this formation at all costs and at any circumstance in a match, that he's almost forcing people into positions at whatever the state of the game is. It just seems absolutely baffling to me that there's just no flex at all, you know, and I just feel that is definitely something, yes, application, understanding of what the game was about. I thought they were miles off it in that first half in particular, as if they rolled up today and just had no idea of what's going to be expected at Grimsby Town away on a wet Wednesday night.
I think it's very easy to talk about United and the lack of everything that came with the performance today, but I was so impressed with Grimsby, the way they played, and I said at half-time I was expecting this direct football, hustle and bustle, throw-ins, corners, but it was absolutely the opposite. The way they played the right football at the right areas at the right time, they played with an intensity, with speed. They caused all sorts of problems in the first half and could have been 3-0 up before United scored a goal.
Well, let's hear from a couple of their heroes, shall we? Charles Vernam got one of the goals. Christy Pym was instrumental in goal. Both of them are with Natalie Jedra.
Absolutely historical night for you. How are you processing the fact that you just beat one of the biggest clubs in the world?
Yeah, it's not sunk in yet. I'm a Man United fan, so I'm half fuming a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah, I am, yeah. So, nights like this, what you play football for, so yeah, beautiful.
We were talking, Charles. You said that you wanted to fast forward the penalty shootout. How did it feel there?
Not that I didn't trust this man, but yeah, it's a nervy wait. And when it just kept going on and on, you just never know. And we scored one, and then you think, oh, we've got a chance. And some of the standard of their penalties was unbelievable. So yeah, it's an amazing feeling, like one that will live on forever.
13-12 on penalties. How was it from the keeper's perspective?
I should have done a little bit better, shouldn't I? No, we sat down yesterday, me and the goal coach Steve, and we had a good hour going through penalties just in case. So it just kept changing. It was a bit fuming, but got one save, kept us in it, and then the boys done the rest, so brilliant.
The drama, but you guys really showed a lot of attitude and aggression from the start. How was the talk between you guys before the game? Because you had a lot of attitude.
Yeah, I think the message all week has been about belief and knowing how good we are, and the gaffer's instilled that. And even during the meeting, he was saying, don't just turn up. Like, there's always a chance, and if we play the right way and we play the right intensity, then why can't it be us? So yeah, to pull that off is an amazing feeling, and yeah, we're all so happy.
In the second half, you had to work a little bit more. What was the feeling when Man United scores that second late goal?
Oh no, they're obviously famous for late goals, so it's just trying to hold on. I thought we had chances to probably go on and put the game to bed earlier. Yeah, just can we hang on and just try and get a result and draw and then back ourselves penalties, don't lose the game.
How was it to manage the emotions? Because we're still hearing fans chanting here, and it was quite an atmosphere throughout the evening, but you guys seemed composed.
Yeah, I think we've had a good record at home here so far this season. We started really well, and we knew the pressure was mainly on them tonight, so the crowd get behind us and we dig in and we worked hard, sort of went man for man and put them under a lot of pressure.
How do you rank this evening?